Joyful adventure, audits come, join the ride. Joyful adventure.
Welcome back to Joyful Adventure Audits. Today we continue our ongoing series on the Lost Pubs of Birmingham. We're standing on Washwood Heath Road, looking at what is now just housing, but this spot holds memories that stretch back over 200 years. This was the site of the Swan Hotel at 401 Washwood Heath Road, demolished many years ago to make way for the homes you see behind me. It's 2025, and there aren't many pubs left in the Washwood Heath area anymore. We've covered hundreds of lost pubs across Birmingham on our channel, but each one tells a unique story, and the Swan's story goes deeper than most. What's fascinating about this location is that the Swan Hotel you might remember wasn't even the first. This was actually a replacement for an earlier Swan Hotel that stood on this exact same spot from around the early 1800s. Think about that, for over 200 years, this corner served the community as a pub. Generation after generation knew this place, drank here, celebrated here, mourned here. At some point in its history, it was known as the White Swan, and that name connects it to a tradition of English pub naming that goes back centuries. The White Swan has always been a symbol of grace and loyalty in British culture, making it a popular choice for establishments that wanted to project respectability and permanence. But here's where the story gets really interesting, and this is a proper bit of Birmingham history. In the 1970s, legendary wrestler and actor Pat Roach had a car lot right next to the Swan. Now, if you don't know who Pat Roach was, let me tell you, this was a proper Birmingham icon. Pat Roach, born and raised right here in Birmingham, became one of Britain's most famous wrestlers, competing under the name Bomber Roach. Standing at 6'4" and built like an absolute unit, he held both the British and European heavyweight wrestling championships. But he became even more famous as an actor, appearing in the Indiana Jones films and playing the beloved character Bomber Busbridge in the hit British TV series Auf Wiedersehen, Pet. The fact that Pat Roach had his car business right next to the Swan in the 70s tells you everything about this area back then. This was working-class Birmingham at its finest, a place where a famous wrestler could run a car lot, where the local pub was the social hub, where everyone knew everyone and community meant something real. Can you imagine the atmosphere? Pat Roach next door selling motors, the Swan packed with regulars, Washwood Heath Road bustling with life and energy. That was the Birmingham so many of us remember, or have heard our parents and grandparents talk about with such fondness. The Swan Hotel represented continuity in a changing world. When the first Swan was replaced by the newer building, it showed the community's commitment to keeping that pub presence alive. They didn't just let it fade away, they rebuilt it, invested in it, believed in its future. For decades, the Swan would have witnessed incredible changes. The early 1800s Swan saw the height of the Industrial Revolution, when Birmingham was the workshop of the world. The later Swan Hotel saw 2 world wars, the decline of manufacturing, the rise of multiculturalism, the transformation of working-class neighborhoods. But eventually, even centuries of tradition couldn't save it. The decision was made to demolish the Swan and build housing. On one level, you can understand it, people need homes, and perhaps the pub was struggling economically. But what's lost when you replace a 200-year-old community institution with houses? You lose more than bricks and mortar. Standing here now, looking at these homes, I wonder if the residents know what stood here before. Do they know that Pat Roach, the man who fought alongside Harrison Ford in Raiders of the Lost Ark, once had his business right here? Do they know that their living rooms and bedrooms now occupy space where countless life stories unfolded over 2 centuries? The demolition of the Swan is part of a broader pattern we're documenting across Birmingham. Washwood Heath has lost so many of its pubs now. Each closure makes the area a little less connected, a little more isolated, a little less like a community and more like just a place where people happen to live. What makes pub losses particularly tragic is that you can't recreate what's been destroyed. You could build a new pub here tomorrow, but it wouldn't have 200 years of history soaked into its walls. It wouldn't have the ghost of Pat Roach popping in for a pint after a day at the car lot. It wouldn't have generations of the same families drinking in the same spots their great-grandparents did. This is why we need your memories. If you remember the Swan Hotel or the White Swan, if you drank here, if you bought a car from Pat Roach's lot next door, if your family has stories about this place, Please share them in the comments below. These memories are all that's left now, and they matter more than you might think. Did you know it when it was the White Swan or the Swan Hotel? What was the atmosphere like inside? Who were the regulars? What made this place special to Washwood Heath? Every story helps us build a complete picture of what we've lost. We've documented hundreds of Birmingham's lost pubs now, and the Swan represents something particularly poignant, a place with such deep roots that it rebuilt itself once, survived for centuries, and still couldn't make it to 2025. That should tell us something about the scale of what we're losing across this city. Until next time, this has been Joyful Adventure Audits. Keep sharing your stories, because without them, places like the Swan truly disappear forever.
White Swan stood proud on the corner of time, a cradle of whispers in its prime. Chimney smoke, air-soaked air, now just a shadow. No one's there. The Swan became a ghost, its wings clipped by change. Stories in the bricks now feel so strange. Bomber Roach and his car, our dreams to sell. Where 2 centuries live, now silence fell. Washwood Heath sang with the footsteps of men, horse-drawn carts, then cars and back again. Houses line the lane where laughter stayed, but no one remembers the games they played. History fades like dusk in the street, echoes in the pavement beneath your feet. The Swan became a ghost, its wings clipped by change. Stories in the bricks now feel so strange. Bomber Roach and his car, our dreams to sell. Where 2 centuries live, now silence fell. Ashes of memory drift on the breeze, carried by time, scattered with ease. A hotel now stands where legends would meet, but the heart of the Swan no one can repeat.
Pat sold motors by the old Swan's light, sudden as a dust on a Birmingham night. Chrome shattered, dreams on wheels under neon skies. The world felt real, but now the bricks are dust. The doors are gone, 2 centuries whispered in the Swan's last song. Bulldozers hum, no ghost to tether. Another heart stops beating forever. Washwood Heath wore its history proud, pence and laughter, a roaring crowd. Echoes trapped in amber glass, futures built on the shadow of the past. Now the bricks are dust, the doors are gone, 2 centuries whispered in the Swan's last song. Bulldozers hum, no ghost to tether. Another heart stops beating forever. Do you hear the roar of the engines fade as progress rolls through the life we've made? Memories crumble, no walls to hold, just stories told and voices old. Now the bricks are dust, the doors are gone, 2 centuries whispered in the Swan's last song. Bulldozers hum, no ghost to tether. Another heart stops beating